Candace Owens goes nuclear on Whoopi Goldberg of The View. You are not gonna want to miss this.
Have any eggs or the possibility of carrying a fetus? How dare you talk about what a fetus wants? You have no idea.
What?
Now, I'm fine if you disagree with abortion. I have no problem with that. My problem comes when you tell me what I need to do with my doctor and my family. How dare you?
Candace Owens absolutely tears apart the hosts of All The View, including Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg. She doesn't hold back in exposing their flawed arguments.
Welcome back. For today's Counterpoint segment, I wanted to discuss the recent Supreme Court abortion case. Honestly, this isn't even about whether you're pro-choice or pro-life. I just do not like bad arguments. And the arguments that are coming from the left right now are absolutely bonkers. So let's start with absolutely bonkers, Joy Behar.
It's a very interesting schism that goes on here because on the one hand, sex sells everywhere. I mean, you can't see an aspirin commercial without somebody having sex. Mm-hmm. You cannot turn on any program, especially on streaming, where people are having, there's soft porn everywhere now. Right. They encourage all of that. It sells everything. Sex sells. Yeah. And yet when it comes to the reality of pregnancy, this particular group of people on the right in this country and these religious zealots do not understand the reality of what happens when you have sex.
I don't think she knows that it's not pronounced sex, but we'll pretend that there's an H somewhere in there. For counterpoint number one, I want to say, yes, Joy Behar, you are correct. Sex is everywhere. Our culture is sick. That isn't an argument, that's a diagnosis. We have an increasingly sick culture here in America. Religious zealots and or people on the right very much understand that reality. We understand that when a culture promulgates promiscuity, it leads to people engaging in unfulfilling, unprotected sex. Far from your assessment that we don't understand what happens when you have sex, we understand exactly what happens. Children are the consequence. Life is the consequence. It would seem to me that it's the atheist zealots, the ones who have normalized sex-laden aspirin commercials, that don't quite understand what happens when you have unprotected sex. And then, when they find out, they go, whoops, well, good thing I learned in health class that I can just get an abortion to deal with it. Did you know, Joy, that before federally funded sex ed programs in school, which sprang up in the 1970s, and before Roe v. Wade in 1973, teenage pregnancy rates in this country were declining over a period of 12 years. Maybe what we on the right understand is that there is such a thing as sexually transmitted insanity, the normalization of non-committal sex, which is pervasive in our culture and in our schools, and it serves no one, least of all the young women who wind up pregnant and are pressured to make a life-altering emotional decision that is packaged to them as the responsible thing to do. I believe that you and the ladies that sit beside you contribute daily to that toxic culture of lies.
There's two things I want to mention off that. The first thing is they call us religious zealots, when in reality, all that we are doing is protecting the unborn. That is a human life that you are taking so frivolously. If you think it is okay to get an abortion willy-nilly whenever you want, then I have news for you. You're gonna have some explaining to do come your next life. But also the second thing I wanted to mention is what they're trying to do is tear apart the family unit. The way that society is constructed nowadays, if somebody gets married and they're still together 10 years later, it's almost a shock because 50% of marriages end in divorce. And I'm telling you right now, pop culture and society is the explanation for that. Because if you turn on the news, you're going to hear about a divorce lawyer. You turn on a TV show, they're going to have some dumb dad and some smart woman who knows everything. How about you get a TV show where it's a man and a woman coming together, both fulfilling their roles and living a happy life? You're never going to see that because the people who rule the world do not want that. They don't want a strong family unit because they are hard to break. They are hard to manipulate. Instead, we want weak-minded people who have zero conviction within themselves and will do whatever it takes to get themselves out of a jam and avoid responsibility.
We understand the consequences of sex, which is why we advocate waiting until you're married and ready for a baby, because that's the natural outcome of sex. The delusion isn't on our side, it's on yours.
Now let's hear from your co-host.
Do any of you men have any eggs or the possibility of carrying a fetus? How dare you talk about what a fetus wants? You have no idea.
Well, I'd love to see the same energy when it comes to biological men dressing up as women and claiming they can get pregnant because they're trans women. Something tells me Whoopi wouldn't be singing the same tune in that conversation, but we'll leave that aside.
I'm fine if you disagree with abortion. I have no problem with that. My problem comes when you tell me what I need to do with my doctor and my family. How dare you? How dare you?
All right, counterpoint to you, Whoopi Goldberg. Number 2. Did you guys know back at home, by the way, that in 2017, Whoopi Goldberg received a GLAAD Media Award for executively producing a show called Strut? It was a transgendered modeling show. She won the award for speaking up for trans rights and against those trying to roll them back. Oopsies! This is why I love intersectionality. Here we are in the middle of a vicious culture war where a bunch of men playing dress up and trying to convince people that they are women and can give birth, and they can chest feed, and here comes along Whoopi Goldberg, and she's so fired up about abortion that she accidentally tells the truth. Only women can give birth. Only women have a womb that is capable of carrying a child. They say, never get in the way of our enemies when they are making a mistake. They also say, even a broken clock is right twice a day. I say, thanks, Whoopi, for proving that even idiots are capable of understanding basic biology.
I'll tell you what you could say that would piss off any single one of these activists and people who claim that trans women are women, trans whatever. I'll tell you one thing that you could say. If you happen to confuse a natural-born woman with somebody who claims to be a woman, that natural-born woman will be up in arms, even though she says outwardly that they're the same exact thing. But inside, she would be absolutely fuming. And the reason why is because she knows that what she's saying is nonsense. Everybody knows the truth. XX chromosomes, XY chromosomes, period, end of story. Why are we debating any further? Now, if you want to dress up as a woman, you could do that. If you want to dress up as a man, go ahead. Just stay out of people's lives and don't push it onto other people's children. That's all that a lot of people are asking for.
For the last counterpoint, which I believe is so important in terms of this abortion debate, we currently have a culture where men are routinely accused of not stepping up to the plate. In fact, just this week, it was announced that only 18% of households in America today feature a nuclear family unit, a married mother and a father raising children. Make no mistake, father absence is one of the biggest, if not the biggest epidemic that we face in this country today. But why are we expecting men to step up to the plate when we have women that are telling them that they don't have to? Why should men step up when the message that is ringing out loud and clear from mainstream culture and media is that beyond sex, men have no responsibility or say in the lives of their children? I mean, how on earth can someone logically explain how a baby is 100% the property of a woman as it grows inside of her, then the moment that the baby is born, it requires a 50-50 split? Can a man stand before a judge at a child support hearing and say, Your Honor, it was her body, and it was therefore her choice to have this child? The answer, of course, is no. Obviously not. That would be stupid. If a man is colloquially referred to as a deadbeat dad for taking no part or responsibility in a child's life as he or she grows up, then the same must also be true for a woman who wants no part or responsibility in a child's life as it grows inside of her. My body, my choice is a pervasive, deadbeat mom argument that accomplishes nothing but excusing too many men from stepping up to their most important role as fathers.
Candace.
Do you ever notice the people who speak the loudest about all this stuff? The people that are almost least desired by the opposite sex? I'm telling you right now, go to an anti-abortion rally and look at 80% of the people. A lot of them just seem very nasty and just cold-hearted. Because you have to be. Because you are killing an innocent life. Society has just become so dehumanized. You are aborting a baby, you are killing a life. End of discussion. I don't know why this is a debate. But their argument is always going to be, you can't get pregnant, so you can't say anything on the matter. Well, who's going to speak up for the baby who's dying? So I'll tell you what, it is refreshing to see Candace Owens put Whoopi Goldberg in her place. Because Whoopi was saying a lot of stuff without any facts to back it up. It's great seeing Candace Owens just bring the facts right to her, just negate everything that she says. But But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this down below. And I also want to know, have any of you guys ever watched one full episode of The View? Has anyone ever subjected themselves to that much torture? Well, please let me know down below. I'd love to hear that. And if you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like, comment, subscribe, and I wish you guys nothing but the best. Till next time.